Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers on the broadcast today, coming to you from the Las Vegas Metro Chamber. Bob Groesbeck joins us. He's the co-CEO of Planet 13, the largest dispensary in the United States of marijuana, for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
From your house to the White House, the folks at D&D Roofing can get it fixed with their eyes closed.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're coming to you from the Las Vegas Metro Chamber, and we're pleased to welcome back to the program Bob Groesbeck. He is the co-CEO of Planet 13, the largest dispensary of marijuana in the country. Pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Thanks, Sam. It's great to be here. The world.
In the world, okay. I will take that. You know,
that's okay.
For many years, we had the Taurino Industrial Center as one of our main sponsors,
right?
And they said they were the largest industrial center in the world. Yeah. We did not argue, and we will not argue with you. And just for folks who are curious, lots of stuff happened at the legislature. We're going to talk about that at a later date.
Right.
You're still sifting through all that information, so we'll come back to that on your next visit.
Happy to do it.
So let's talk about Planet 13. When did you get the idea for 13?
Well, my partner and co-CEO Larry Scheffler and I really started thinking about Planet 13 in about 2016, shortly after we opened our original dispensary, which was called Medicine. And we realized when we opened that facility, which was state-of-the-art and very, very nice, it was deficient in several respects. One is it was too far away from the Strip, and it really wasn't convenient for the tourist customer. And so we started, talking about that really right after we opened that facility. We thought, you know what, this is Las Vegas. We needed to do something, it's Las Vegas style, big, grand, over the top. And, they've built these beautiful mega resorts up and down Las Vegas Boulevard for that very reason, to attract customers and to bring people to the city. And we thought, why not apply those, techniques to the cannabis space?
Was there any shortage of people who were willing to invest?
Well, that's an interesting question, because when we originally came up with the vision, Larry and I, it was a privately owned company at the time, there were just the two of us, and we realized it was going to require a huge amount of capital to build, a facility like we have now. So we went out into the market, looking for financing. We looked at a lot of opportunities, private venture capital. We looked at the public route, which we ultimately went down. And we were very pleased that the investor community was very supportive of the concept. We just happened to roll it out right in the middle of a decision by the former U.S. Attorney General to rescind the Cole memo. And that obviously sent some shockwaves through the investor community because they didn't know how to respond to it or react to it. So that set us back a bit, but we moved forward and we raised the capital we needed to raise, and now we've got this fabulous facility sitting just west of the Trump Tower.
And we're showing video of the property as we're talking here. Right. So now, is the company based in the United States or is it based in Canada?
We're a Canadian holding company, so it is a Canadian corporation, but all of our assets are U.S. based. So everything right now is Nevada. We have a Nevada operation, Nevada corporation, and then we just recently announced we're going to move into Southern California. So we'll basically use that template as we move into other markets.
Okay, so now how big of a facility are you going to build? Where in Southern California and how big?
Well, it's in the Santa Ana area. The size is yet to be determined. What we've said in press releases that it will be the largest cannabis dispensary in California, we believe, and second in the world, because Las Vegas will continue to be the largest.
Okay, and why Santa Ana as against other parts of Southern California?
Well, Metro LA has roughly 14 million people, and it has, with all of its, tourist attractions, close to 50 million visitors a year. We just thought that that would be a real nice tie-in to what we're doing here in Vegas. And also, a large percentage of our existing customer base comes from California multiple times a year. So it's an opportunity now for us to expand that brand into the Southern California market and allow our customers in California to use their rewards points, participate in our rewards program in both states.
All right, so tell me about the rewards program. This is the first I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's basically a program to design the customers can opt into. If you opt into the program, you basically get insider opportunities, sale opportunities that others don't get. So, and you build up points, and as you build up points, you can use those to buy product, goods, services, whatever we offer.
Now, do you have the same issues in California that we do here in Nevada with it having to be a cash business?
Well, California is very much like Nevada from that standpoint. The reality is it is still a Schedule I narcotic, so banking opportunities are extremely limited. So we're moving into the market regardless, but we know that we're going to confront challenges down there just like we have here.
So, I mean, this has got to result in huge security costs. In terms of both the building and also transportation, because you've got to pay taxes, you've got to pay all kinds of things that are, is it all cash?
Yeah, a large component of our business is cash. We're fortunate that we're large enough now that we can do things a little more creatively than when we first started, but it is a problem for the industry. It's not a good thing to have that amount of cash for any business. It would make more sense to allow traditional banking, electronic payment and transfers. Those things are coming, but it's been slow, and at the end of the day, it's going to require either an executive order or some formal action by Congress. I know a lot of the bankers would be happy to bank us.
Sure, of course they would.
They're just concerned about the risk and the liability.
There was discussion of the legislature in terms of doing some kind of assist. Did anything come of that?
No, I know we've talked for the last few sessions about going so far as creating a state bank. I actually think it's a good idea, but it's much more difficult to implement than, conceptually it makes a lot of sense. You're still going to run up against, the federal hurdles, regardless of whether it's state-sponsored, state-owned, or private. But I think California is now moving forward with a banking program, so we'll obviously watch that very closely, see how it unfolds. But I think they're probably a little further down the path than we are from a banking standpoint.
All right, let's take a break. More with Bob Groesbeck when we come back.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia. Yeah.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bob Groesbeck. He is the co-CEO of Planet 13. I wanted to ask you, do you think that the legalization on a federal level is going to come just because how does the federal government look at the amount of tax money being raised in the states and not want a piece of that? I mean, bottom line.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, if they were rational thinkers in Congress, it would have already happened. I'm just befuddled by their lack of interest in taking up these issues and doing something, you know, with respect to Schedule 1. I'm hopeful. It seems every session we get a little further down the path, but something needs to happen.
Are you getting help from Nevada's delegation at all?
Yeah, I think overall our delegation has been very supportive. You know, Senator Masto Cortez has been fabulous. Senator Rosen, as a congresswoman, was very supportive. Congressman Amodei has been very supportive. So, you know, overall we've had really good support from the delegation. It's just pushing it through, you know, the various chairs back there and getting bills out. The House seems to get bills out and then they just die.
Right.
And, you know, it's unfortunate because it has real implications, you know, to the industry and to operators. And, you know, it has the potential to be a huge industry, a huge tax generator, and a huge job creator. I mean, it's just the positives far outweigh any negatives.
Well, and it would seem to, well, you know, I mean, beyond the fact that, you know, so many states have already legalized one form or another.
Right.
It's kind of like gaming went from being in Nevada to New Jersey to being in 48 states.
Right.
What is it going to be, 5 years before it's in 48 states in the United States? I mean,
well, I think you're right.
It's going to happen, and that pushes the levers.
Right. And I think, you know, again, like I said, I'm encouraged every session because I see movement. But again, you get to certain committees and these bills never see the light of day. And it's unfortunate that you've got a real mindset back there, particularly with some of these older members that have been around forever, that they're never going to be objective about the industry or about what it brings, you know, in a positive manner. So again, it's Congress has to do something.
Or, you know, like you were saying earlier, an executive order from the office of the president could do something at least for that term of that president.
Right, right. And, you know, President Trump, you know, from the medical side, he's been pretty supportive. You know, he's given conflicting statements on the recreational side of it. I don't think he personally likes it, but he's a strong states' rights advocate. And, you know, this is a perfect example of states' rights.
Well, and he has personal issues. You know, he doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't smoke.
Right.
He had a brother who was an alcoholic
Right.
and who perished from that. And so it's understandable that he would not be the first person leaping into that.
Oh, and I respect that. Yeah, I mean, obviously his personal experiences, you know, come to play. But he's a strong advocate for states' rights, and this is an issue that should be left to the states, just like alcohol. You know, you've got federal oversight, but the programs are administered on a state-by-state basis.
And one wonders, you know, the banking lobby is so powerful in D.C. That they have not taken up, or have they taken up this flag in terms of lobbying on behalf of this industry to get it to where they could get a piece of the action?
Well, I'm not aware that they've taken a really forward approach, you know, been really aggressive in, excuse me, in pushing the issue. But I think they've softened considerably, and again, you know, bankers that I've talked to off the record, they have no issues banking the industry. It's just, they don't want to put their business interests at risk in doing so.
Right, of course. Okay, let's take another break and we'll be right back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
One of the most psychologically damaging things parents can do to children in divorce is disparage one another, which is why I can't believe I even have to make this commercial. Half of your kids' genetics come from this person you're spewing hate about. Your children have the right to love you both, but more than that, they deserve to love themselves.
Marilyn York might be a men's rights divorce attorney, but this is for every selfish parent. Shut up!
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're continuing our conversation with Bob Groesbeck. He's the co-CEO of Planet 13. So I've got to ask you about Electric Daisy Carnival. For those that don't know, this is an electronic dance festival that runs 3 nights.
Right.
About 150,000 people a night show up for this event.
That's correct.
What was your participation? And I'm not expecting numbers, but what kind of response did you get?
Well, the response from the attendees to our facility was overwhelming. In fact, we set records in both revenue and traffic for those 3 nights. So, you know, it's interesting because we've not even been at the new facility for a year yet. We opened in November. So we're trying to get a real feel of, you know, the various events that come through town and which are, you know, that lean more heavily toward cannabis versus other venues. And EDC it blew the doors off. We thought we'd have a positive response. We thought they'd like the facility and like the products that we had to offer, but we really underestimated just, you know, how excited they were to be part of it, and huge numbers across the board, and we were very pleased with that. Obviously, we can't wait till next year to have them back. So,
right, for sure. And characters, I remember staying at Treasure Island a couple of years ago when it was the EDC weekend, and I came on the Sunday night, which is the last night, for tapings that week, and I saw people walking through Treasure Island dressed in a way I'd never seen anybody in Treasure Island before.
Well, they were at our facility this time. Yeah, they take costumes to a new level. But I have to say, they as a group were very well behaved. No issues whatsoever. Just a real fun-loving crowd, and we're really pleased to have them. Can't wait to have them back again.
Yeah, they're not exactly a Hell's Angels crowd.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're kids having fun.
Yeah,
you know, the late 20s crowd, early 30s. It seemed, like I said, we were very pleased. We're very pleased they embraced the Planet 13 concept and spent time at our facility.
Now, what are you able to do as far as marketing? I mean, are you able to, for example, buy signage at an event like EDC?
Well, it's all event dependent on the specific events. So, for instance, right now, if we tried to advertise in the new Raider Stadium, it's coming online. It's prohibited. Airports prohibited. Although California has recently changed. Federal funding. But some of the smaller venues and some of the other pro franchises are now taking a hard look at that. For us, you know, we use traditional advertising platforms, billboards, a lot of social media, and particularly for a younger crowd like EDC, that's very important. But you know, we do some limited radio advertising. Really haven't done any TV yet, but you know, we run wrap cabs up and down the strip, and we have 170 of those on the road. And so we're always looking to be creative, you know, to target that market that, you know, that we want to drive traffic to our facility.
Do you think that once legalization comes and or the ability to market expands, that, you know, am I right in thinking that you could quadruple the amount of business or even higher of what you're doing if you could market?
Yeah, you know, we've looked at projections, and they really run across the board because we just don't know. But I think conservatively, if we were allowed to market and compete like any other business, yeah, we could probably double our traffic and revenues pretty easily.
All right, and that's a pretty conservative.
Yeah, I think it's pretty conservative.
But if you're talking about doubling things like the EDC weekend, that'd be pretty huge.
We would be very pleased.
All right, so tell me about phase 2, because you're going to allow us to go back here and get some video.
Right.
What's going on in phase 2?
Well, as you saw on the 40,000 feet that we just toured through, it's state of the art in every respect. 16,200 feet of which is devoted to the dispensary floors you saw. Phase 2 is 23,000 feet of expansion into the grand corridors you saw. So we're going to have an actual restaurant there, a pizzeria, bistro. We'll have a small events center. 15,000 square foot of production expansion. So our customers now will have the opportunity to come in and watch products being infused or manufactured, beverage lines for instance, canned and bottled, behind glass. They can actually watch it. There will be large signs on the wall, so when there's a production run for a certain product, it'll pulse, they'll be able to see it, and there'll be large kiosks in the grand hallway where they can actually go in and see exactly what that product consists of. All the constituents included in that product, and have the ability to click and order that and then go across the hallway and buy it in the dispensary if they're interested in that. And again, it's all the whole concept here to make this facility interactive, you know, to keep people there, to enjoy Las Vegas, to enjoy Planet 13, enjoy all the experiences that come with that. So it's kind of like a marijuana craft brewery. Well, very much so. That's exactly what it is. Been a number of analogies to the old Willy Wonka movie, you know, and again, if we want customers to see it, to experience it, and what better way to see it behind glass and see the technicians, and it's a highly automated facility, as you'll see. The equipment and the technology there is state of the art. It's going to really raise the production level, I think, across the industry. I mean, there's very few operators that manufacture at this level. All right, so I'm going to go out, say, 5 years or more, and now marijuana is no longer a Schedule I drug. Consumption lounges have been approved, and the phrase itself doesn't really say what that really is, because it's going to be the ability for people to enjoy the product as they would an alcoholic beverage, right, or a cigar or whatever else it might be that would be their pleasure. How big is this industry going to grow? Well, it's going to be massive. It's going to be a $100 billion $100 billion industry. I'm guessing, yeah, in the next 5 years or so. Again, a lot of variables that need to be addressed, Schedule I being the biggest. But as more and more states legalize it and regulate it, and it's going to be a massive industry. I think you're going to see huge players in the industry, for instance, in alcohol, tobacco, big pharma, all starting to position themselves to get into this space as well. That's just a natural progression. Yeah, at this point in the states that have legalized marijuana, I'm presuming that universities and medical centers can now do tests on marijuana to see what are the positive or negative aspects of marijuana toward illnesses of one kind or another. Is that correct? Well, there's been some, with the Farm Bill, for instance, on the CBD side. Now universities are able to actually accept hemp products and with marijuana and do limited testing. Until very recently, I think it was the University of Mississippi. It was really the only university in the United States that was authorized to do any meaningful studies. And there was only one place that was growing it for them. Right, right. And it's my understanding that actually an operation in Canada was providing most of the product. Yeah, that needs to change. There has to be meaningful research. I think the plant has a lot of positive attributes, a lot of health benefits, but they really, it has to go through universities, and it has to be thoroughly studied, and there needs to be peer review. And that's what it's all about. And And that's an important thing that Congress can help facilitate. They just need to do that. And you know, I think within 5 years, getting back to your original point, I think we're going to see some meaningful progress in that regard.
As far as illegal marijuana, there's been conversation certainly about California that the price of legal pot versus the illegal stuff is such a differentiation that illegal is still thriving.
It is.
What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, it's going to take
about 30 seconds.
It's going to take a concerted effort by law enforcement to shut them down, because the products they grow are not tested, first of all. Many of them are laced with dangerous pesticides. But more importantly, they dump them into the market unregulated. There's no tax benefit whatsoever to the communities. They're not paying their employees prevailing wages. It's really a detriment. We suffer from that here in Southern Nevada when the Golden Triangle and Northern California, when they go through their crop cycles, we see huge dumps of illegal product here in Southern Nevada. To give you an idea, they'll come in trash bags and sell product for $500 a pound. And
A pound.
And the buyer has no idea, or the consumer has no idea what they're purchasing. And again, there are no tax benefits to the state or the local jurisdictions whatsoever.
And that's where we have to leave it. Thank you for the tour.
My pleasure.
Thank you for doing this, and we look forward to hearing more.
Come back, see us again.
All
Thanks.
righty, and we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? Are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in Northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Our thanks to the Las Vegas Metro Chamber for hosting us. And always, you can catch all of our shows at NevadaNewsmakers.com and on YouTube. We'll see you on the next broadcast.